Celtic find a way to get it done yet again as they overcome a tough challenge at Dens Park against Dundee. They came out 2-1 victors in what puts them only 3 points behind Hearts at the top of the table after they dropped up earlier today. 2 weeks ago, Celtic lost to Dundee United. That left them 5 points behind Hearts at the top of the table. The majority of the people were saying that Celtic are out of this title race. The majority of them people will now be saying Celtic still have a chance. That's how quickly a win and a performance like that, a gritty performance, can help the supporters and the mood around Celtic Football Club. That performance showed determination. The first half, very good, which we'll get into. Second half, not very controlled. Dundee had the control of the game, but when the going got tough, Celtic found a way to get the goal with another player off the bench, this time Kelechi Iheanacho. Starting with the first half now, and I thought Celtic came out with great intensity, a complete shift to what we seen at Tannadice just 2 weeks ago. Lots of balls into the box, and Celtic came out with a clear identity, what they wanted to get out of the game today, and that was the 3 points. Some players I thought performed excellently. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, that was his best 45 minutes in a Celtic shirt by far. He had a strength on the ball and he had a presence. He wasn't just going to get muscled off the ball like we seen in Glasgow Derbies a couple of weeks ago and in other games when he's came on. So that was a big improvement from him. Hopefully he can use that to fuel forward for the final few games of the season. Alongside him, Benjamin Negron, I also thought, coming off the back of his international break with Sweden, he continued that great form into Celtic. And you could see he wants to be the main man for Celtic, and he proved that in this first half, getting lots of crosses into the box, and the fast-paced Celtic way was how he was playing. I thought there was some great link-up play between Yang and Benjamin Negron. They really brought the best out of each other. Yang bombing down that right-hand side. Negron always looking for the pass and always looking for the return pass as well after he gives it off to Yang. So they definitely complemented each other very well. I think looking at that right-hand side as a whole for Celtic in that first half was a key area where Celtic dominated, and it led to a dominant first half display. Colby Donovan at right back, he linked up with Yang very well. So the whole right-hand side were just on the one wavelength, and that helped Celtic get a foothold in the game. A player who's come under his fair share of criticism this season has been Daizen Maeda. That first 45 minutes was some of the best I've seen in him in a Celtic shirt this season. Again, I'm using the word intensity. He brought the old Daizen Maeda that we've been used to. The Daizen Maeda that got player of the season last year for Celtic. He brought his A game in that first half. He was cutting inside, over the top. He was there. He was showing his speed and the determination to win the ball back when he maybe gave it away, where at other games this season he'd give it away and foul him. This time he was trying to not foul him, and he was trying to get the ball back in a fair manner. That meant Celtic could push on and add to the press. That they did very well. The press was a great aspect of their game today, which we haven't seen much recently. We've seen them very easy to break down through the midfield being typically weak and slow. Today in the first half was not like that at all. Celtic got a control in the game through Callum McGregor, because he came under a lot of criticism after that Dundee United game. He held his own again. Callum McGregor, Celtic captain, done what he does best. And still, there's going to be question marks about Callum McGregor, but as long as he delivers that performance that he did today, he will be okay, and Celtic hopefully will be on course for their 56th league title. I don't think I can talk about the first half without bringing up Thomas Shavansara. Now, Thomas Shavansara is a player that I really admire for Celtic. He gets himself about, but that was not one of his best showings in a Celtic top. 2 one-on-ones in the game, one in the first half, one in the second half, where he really should be doing better, and his all-round decision-making during the first half was just not up to scratch for me. Early on in the game, Celtic had a chance. He got a break of the ball, and he had the opportunity to pass it into Daizen Maeda, and he shoots, and it's away over the top. Now, as a striker, you can say, okay, fair enough. He wants to get a goal in that situation, but you got to also use a bit of football and IQ there. He was well outside the box. Daizen Maeda was bombing into the box, so it was just unfortunate. And the 2 one-on-ones, the one in the first half, off the post, unlucky, but he should be scoring one-on-one with a keeper. Thomas Shavansara, he's not a prolific goal scorer, but if he wants to be at Celtic after this season, he needs to start bagging the goals, because that's what Celtic are missing. A clear goal scorer, a Kyogo, an Odsonne-Edouard, a Moussa Dembele type player we haven't had all season, and we're really crying out for at this stage in the season. Turning my attention now to that second half performance, and from the start Celtic came out a completely different team. Celtic had the opening chance in that first half through Thomas Shavansara, another one-on-one, this time a poor touch led to the goalkeeper getting it in his grasps. Not what you want, but I've touched on Shavansara. The whole second half performance wasn't good from Celtic. They lost the control in the game. Dundee had some chances and they dominated the game. You could see that penalty coming a mile away. It's 100% a penalty off Colby Donovan. The only argument you could make was that he was very close to where the ball was struck from, but when your hand's out so far, there's only so much you can do. If that was against Celtic and say Simon Murray put his hand up and he blocked it like that, you'd be crying out for a penalty. So it's fair enough. It's just one of them things where you got to take it. And Celtic should never have been in that position, that 1-1 in that game, especially in the second half. We had so many chances. The balls across the box in the first half. Celtic should not have found themselves in any jeopardy in this game. But of course, we couldn't be talking about the 25-26 Celtic team without a bit of jeopardy, could we? As the story has been on so many occasions this season, Celtic rely on substitutes to get the job done. This time Kelechi Iheanacho, assisted by another substitute, Marcelo Sarachi. Good ball into the box. Iheanacho used his strength. He used one of his advantages. He used his strength to get away from the defender, shrugged him off and smashed it into the back of the net on the 82nd minute, getting Celtic all 3 points and what could be a massive 3 points going into the last game before the split next weekend and 5 games post-split, 1 at home to Rangers, 1 at home to Hearts. They're going to be crucial in this run-in. Does this mean Kelechi Iheanacho is going to be the Celtic striker for the final few weeks of the season? Well, I hope so. I think on paper he's the best Celtic striker we have at the club. He's struggled with fitness issues this season, injury issues, that hamstring injury, which he suffered in the League Cup final, hasn't helped his time at Celtic. It's been up and down. He hasn't got a consistent run in the team, but he's came up with 2 big goals of note. One, Kilmarnock away at the start of the season under Brendan Rodgers, which feels like so long ago, but could prove to be a massive goal and a massive win if Celtic do go on to win the league. And that goal today on the 82nd minute for Celtic. I don't know if Celtic would have found a way to get the job done if it hadn't been for Iheanacho today, and Sarachi changed the game. Just 2 minutes after that Iheanacho goal, Dundee found themselves down to 10 men. Ryan Ashley getting a red card on the 84th minute where he pulled down Yang in what was a clear goal scoring opportunity. Again, lovely flick on from Kelechi Iheanacho. Yang anticipated the run really, really well. Onto that, he got pulled down. He would have had a one-on-one situation, so that's a fair enough red card. Ryan Ashley was trying to stay on the pitch for as long as he could, trying to time waste even though they were a goal down, I'm not sure, but it worked out for Celtic in the end up. There were 7 minutes added on to the game at the end, and on reflection it seems like Celtic did control that game very well. When watching it in the heat of the moment, it feels like they were under the cosh for the whole 7 minutes, but in reality they did have sustained possession. They held it down well. There was a couple of moments where Dundee got the ball back. They won a free kick near the end. The goalkeeper went up for it. Sinizalo came out well, got the free kick, and that helped Celtic to victory today. Something I did want to touch on today was the substitutes by Martin O'Neill. No use of Sebastian Chinecti or Rio Hatate. I think especially Sebastian Chinecti. The game was crying out for his bit of flair. But in saying that, James Forrest did make an impact when he came on. The trickery, the James Forrest that we're used to. I think if we remember back to 2 years ago, it was a big game before the split at Dens Park. James Forrest came up big that day, getting the goals for Celtic, sending them on for victory in what was another title race. A title race that doesn't get spoken about as much as it should. Celtic got the job done in Brendan Rodgers' first season. Who was my man of the match today? Well, it's really between 3 players, 2 of them going off the first half and Yang the whole game. The 2 in the first half who I thought really stood out, I've already touched on, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Benjamin Negron. But my overall man of the match for his sustained performance, the full 90 minutes, is going to have to be Yang. He got the final touch on the first goal. A good finish. It was a nice flick over the keeper, finished it off. 34 passes completed today, 85%, so a solid day's work from Yang. In the past couple of weeks, taking away that Dundee United game because no one was good that day, Yang has started to put the foot down and we're seeing consistent performances out of him. I think 2 games ago, that Motherwell game at home, he was the star that day and he's the star again today along with Kelechi Iheanacho. Job done for Celtic, 3 points and on to next Saturday. Briefly touching on the other 2 teams this weekend, Rangers and Hearts. Rangers came away 4-2 winners at home to Dundee United. So they got the job done yesterday. Hearts, on the other hand, did not. They fell behind early, 1-0. They brought it back to 2-1. Complete control of the game. Then they give it away a slack pass 2-2. Livingston, bottom of the league. That's a tough place to go for Rangers, Hearts and Celtic this season. Rangers only about a month ago drew 2-2 at Livingston as well, so tough place to go. And in this title race, anything can happen. I can't just say, oh, Hearts are going to win the league. Now that Rangers have a bit of momentum, they're going to win the league. Celtic win today, they're going to win the league. So anything can just happen. It's going to be game by game, and that's all Celtic can do. If Celtic win the rest of their games, Celtic will win this league title. That's a fact. And them 2 home games against Rangers and Hearts will have a massive, massive impact. That's going to be all from me on this Easter Sunday. Celtic win. Great day for the boys in hoops. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see us all for another video looking ahead to that big game on Saturday at home to St Mirren in the final Scottish Premiership game before the split. Until then, hail, hail, and come on the hoops.